Looks like meters.
Hi, I'm Charlene. So nice to meet you, Mr. Ramsey.
Hey,
Cody.
good to see you.
Nice seeing you.
I love it.
Last time I was in Camelot, you were the main guy.
I know. Have you seen our new one
Those are
yet?
great, not yet, but I will be.
It's way different.
Is it different?
Yeah, it's short. It's only got 7-8 people in it. And one Guinevere, that's just one woman. Guinevere, Arthur, Lancelot, and 6 knights.
And 6 nights.
Yeah. And it's really fun.
That's the remade version then.
Yeah, it's just remade, it's shorter and.
Hi, Scott.
It's to the point, it's got humor. It's all funny until things go sour.
Till it goes sour.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay, Scott?
Oh, excellent, I love that. My grandson. Yeah. Yeah, are you the man in the chair?
No, I'm the underling,
The underling.
so I get to spit a bit. I get to spit my
Yeah,
wife's
so
face.
Dave had to go to a funeral.
Oh, really? Your real wife's
So,
face.
I'm gonna
That's kind of fun.
and then also go back around with Dave.
Yeah.
And I was gonna tell you, so I
Dave has a few ideas that we need to reach out to them, so we just need, it's what we've done before, maybe 2 hours a week. I'd say an hour a week, but we kind of bled into the second hour last time, so.
So sick. And so.
I'll just plan it for 2 hours and then you'll be sick. Hi, Scott. How are you?
Someone showed us his bicycle.
Wow, I'm on a big screen.
You are on the big screen. You're the man of the hour. I'll try and get this a little more straight, but it is hard to see other people.
We just live around the corner from where the theater's at, right? I had to tell Michael to stay away, I just have to stay at home, you know?
Yeah, well, I don't miss it a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's true, that's true, that's true.
But yeah, it's not good.
Zoom in.
Yeah.
Depends on if it'll be nice.
That sounds like.
I mean, more than the temple, it's been, because he started in another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to. Yeah. All the time. How's your wife doing? Doing good, huh?
I'm like that.
Oh.
And, grabbing one. There he is. That's what we text or.
The phone lost.
There's a few of us that
Usually protected things are around.
oh no, it's one of those like slow-mo. Sitcom, I think that's what I'm at. Brushes up against something, my elbow hits me, my shoulder in the head. I go, oh no, my shot. No, my phone.
And I didn't feel like I had it. I thought I did.
That's what you got, it's
I totally convinced myself that I had it because
I
there's a big
love
C on the test.
And I bought insurance, I'm just great, I paid $50 for
But
it.
when I saw the
But I
line
just
with
sort
that
of,
C, I just,
6 to 12 weeks later.
I just have poor reading comprehension.
Let's do this.
Even worse, probably.
This morning,
My mother would love that. Yeah, I mean, I would too, but.
What's that guy's name? I can't believe that's left name. Ben Campbell, John Denver, and what is his name? He's the one that sang King Riders. I didn't think it was Roger. Was it Roger? It's something.
Well, I keep waiting for Kim to come and do.
You're gonna introduce all these.
Oh, I think you can do that all year
They're gonna
round.
introduce themselves. Just, I was just seeing if Nathan, was gonna come so he could conduct.
Good to know.
I know that John Reinhardt said he was coming. Debbie LeRae, Barry, and Dave Blackington need to be excused today, so Adam said he was coming, so.
Get it off the last. Get it off. I don't know if I call Roman. Roman something. No one has YouTube. Wrong, Alex. Got a principal last year's involvement. So he did says it's always surprise. A snippet of another show where someone you're saying now made it into a dance from a show. The lady who does the whole track. I'm just glad you got a good shot of it. We do. There's a crowd about that. Sure. So he, what you mentioned, said that was a new show. We're on for a packing show. More than it is. We'll have that. We're not sure how they go out there, but if you go to our
Wasn't he out there for
2 years. 2 years.
I heard that when he passed it, you get a permission call.
Oh, yeah. Take a walk. It's every interaction plus on this or all the pictures of anybody who's ever been in it. Yeah, and it's a mission picture. Oh, this is the only true mission call. That's a picture up there, you know. So yeah. But back then he was. So it's not really anyway, yeah, it was funny.
I didn't stop.
You know, there's a treaty.
They wouldn't give me a program for the New York Times wheelchair.
So half the first actors
Maybe that was fair, HR.
Yeah.
Thanks there.
They don't show how to do it because they're not eligible qualification, which is then there's
and he just kind of, yeah, you're right.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that they put it because he's a reasonably, there's some pretty absurd things.
That song says, you know, I believe in God. He had a son named Cody.
Was he going to more?
Yeah, that's true. It just sounds funny too.
No, that's
Here's what he
that's what he's gonna say now.
America.
Adam said it's almost $100 a day. They get a pass there.
Bonner family. You
That's a good insurance.
and she's saying, so that's all that did all that. And it was just as bad as anybody could put it. So to prove that if you live in life, right, you can still do that. You know, true and everything, you know, and that was so good. She was a good example of his action.
Yeah. Oh,
Because he was that. And all that. Yeah. You know, she's.
Well, Nancy, you're the vice chair. Do you want to get us started since Nathan's not here? I'm going to put the recorder a little bit closer to you because we need to pick up everyone's voices and I am loud. I'll just put that there.
We've talked about how I don't like to run meetings though, right? We have talked about that.
These guys will help.
So welcome. And I think the first thing we need to do is introduce each other, ourselves to each other. So Shar, will you start and we can go around this way?
Yes, I will start. I am Charlene Crozier. I am the current library director. I've been with the city a long time, and I really enjoy working with the Arts Council. We partner with the library because we tend to have a few more things that can help support the Arts Council in their activities and different things like that. So we manage the stage, and Library Hall has been open for just over a year, and we use that auditorium space in there for an Arts Council program. So it's a little crazy today. I apologize because the library is under some limited improvement and construction and cleaning, but and then Sharon is joining us by Zoom. She is caring for her mother in Idaho right now, so thank you to Sharon for providing the lunch and everything, but and then just remember that Mr. Swain is on here as well.
Okay, maybe he should go next. Scott.
Did you want to introduce yourself?
Can you see a picture?
Scott?
Well, we can wait.
That's how you can be in the meeting, but not really.
Well, maybe we'll come back.
Okay.
So, I think it's been a great thing.
Hi, I'm Alex Malone. I am the executive director of the Norda Center for the Performing Arts at UVU.
Oh,
Very excited to be joining this illustrious council.
that's cool.
So that's way cool.
That's way cool. Yeah.
A recent transplant to Utah, moved here right before the pandemic, so just now learning where everything is.
Sweet.
From
Houston, Texas.
Houston. Okay. And John?
I'm John Reinhardt.
What brings you here? What's your part of art? What's your thing in art?
Well, my family has always been involved in art, whether visual arts or theater media arts kind of thing, mainly my kids. And so it was a good opportunity to participate. We've been trying hard for a long time on the utility boxes, and we'll see what happens.
Still trying.
Yeah.
I didn't get your last name, John.
Oh, Reinhardt.
Reinhardt, thank you.
I was about 5 minutes too. I looked on the email and I didn't see a Zoom link. And I saw that it said it was in person. I was like, oh. Hurry in.
We're glad you came.
And you're over here.
My name is La Bean, and I am also over at UVU. I am the incoming chair of the theater department this summer, so I work actually pretty closely with Alex on a lot of things, but I live here in Orem.
Cool.
So I'm a Utah native, so.
Great. Welcome.
And I'm Cody Hale. I'm one of the managing directors over at the Hale Center Theater Orem. And I've been, as such, I've been on this council for many, many years.
Permanent seat by Hale and Sarah, so we're lucky to have such structure and expertise.
I'm not sure how much longer we'll still be here because of, I guess you've heard that Pleasant Grove offered us not Pleasant Grove, it was doTERRA basically, that offered us an opportunity to build a new theater that was, it's not an offer you can't refuse. So if all goes well, I'll be on this council for another 2 to 3 years. And it could be longer, you just never know. The economy does stupid things like it's done every time we've announced a new theater. We'll stay here forever. Which is fun. We love Orem and are just very grateful for all that Orem has given us over the years. It's been awesome.
My name is Mike Ramsey. I work with Alex in the Arts Council over at UVU as well. And I've done shows with Law before and up at Sundance. And then I was with Cody and have done some Hale shows, and I love the Hale. And then have done Sarah's show. I'm doing Sarah show now. My son's directing SpongeBob for the summer, and everyone in it except for me is under 35. And so that's really a challenge. So they've had to change some of the dancing just a little bit because I'm a little bit older, right? So anyway, it's great. But I love Orem community, the community of Orem. I work for I'm a senior HR of people for a technology company. So that's what I do during the day. And then during the night, I love the arts. And so thanks for having me.
Great. I'm Nancy Peterson, and I don't represent UVU as such, but I am just retiring from 25 years as faculty at UVU in education. And I developed their course for teachers, arts integration for teachers. I've always been in the arts. I have a musician husband, and I love the community arts take. And I love Orem.
I'm Michael Smith. I've lived in Orem for 7 years, transplanted from the east, from Connecticut, where I taught school for 30 years. I've been acting my whole life in New York and Boston and all over. We retired, my wife and I retired from teaching and moved here to be near our grandkids and kids like everybody else does. I've been pleased to be able to be in a couple of shows at the Hale, which I'm in one right now, and I think my wife and I are at least 30 years older than everybody else in the cast. And Jen Barlow has not fixed the choreography for us.
Talk to her.
So we're running as fast as we can, and I'm just glad to be here. Thanks.
Well, welcome, everybody.
Scott, would you like to introduce yourself? Scott Swain?
Somebody's talking.
Scott?
Oh, you're muted. Sharon,
Sharon's muted, but
I see she's.
we're not muted. Scott? Scott Swain?
He's on a phone call, I think. That's what it sounds like.
Scott?
We're all multitasking.
These are all just one seances.
Scott Swain?
Make a sign if you can hear us.
What is Zoom video about?
Very exciting news around here.
Who is it?
It's a very exciting news around the building.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's gonna be exciting.
Somewhere you can mute him, right? I guess.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
Scott?
remember where that's at.
As long as everything holds steady, you go, I mean, it looks great, it's gonna look better, so. We've been asked a lot of computers over the years, and every time we do, Sunday, we had the recession in 2007, we had 9/11, guess what happened in the evening on Saturday?
Scott? Can you hear me?
So you're a bellwether.
So it's like, I think.
So Scott, you're not getting any audio from the meeting, not getting any audio?
This is your last one.
Yeah,
The world is tough enough.
it is.
I can hear you. You can't hear us at all? Weird. I'm not muted. Can you hear me now?
I sense an accidental disconnection about to happen.
You still can't hear us?
You can hear me, but I can't hear you.
there a chat on there where you could tell him to tell us about himself?
Ron's not doing audio in the meeting. I don't know what else to do.
She's very.
I am not
Oh,
sure
okay, it's the other cookie.
why we're not doing audio, so.
Okay.
Here, does it say which mic you're using?
I don't know.
If you get to the audio, back to the Zoom meeting. Can we go back to the Zoom meeting? Instead of go to where it will normally
It's
say
been
meeting,
about 3 years.
or you at the bottom,
Yeah, maybe
see,
4 years.
go over there and see what tells you what mic you're using.
Just some, a TV show with some older people.
Is that the mic you expect to be using?
Well, we had one this year.
See if there's a select
One mic.
microphone.
We have a wedding in July.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now, anyone?
Let's look at the mics. Are those 3 mics? Is it, are we using the right mic?
It's such a great place to do it.
I honestly don't know. Headset microphone, not that one, microphone array.
Let's try that one and see.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now, Scott? Ron can hear Scott, but not the meeting. Can anybody hear anything now? Sharon can hear the meeting now. Scott, can you hear us now?
Yeah, now that you're closer.
Scott, can you hear us now?
He's trying.
It's a new world.
Do the same, yeah.
Can you hear us now, Scott?
You'll
Can you
see
hear me,
it.
Sharon?
You'll see a look at the site when you see it.
I stole the water, would anyone else like to?
Oh, yeah, I apologize. There's water.
I would,
Small or large?
small.
Small.
Oh, yeah, small.
Thank you.
Okay.
And are we back?
Well, I'll
Can
take
you
a
hear me
large
now,
one.
Sharon?
That is the large one?
Large for you.
So,
I think you got
I
a large.
am at a loss. Can you hear us, Scott? You still can't hear us?
And yourself? Large.
Keep it going.
No, the
I
gentleman
just
over
threw a
there.
little one that way.
Is it Michael? Do you like the water?
Oh, yes, thank you.
Small or large or?
Here's the
Okay,
whole
so
one
you
right
can
here.
hear us
Oh,
now,
here's a small one too.
and we can hear you now.
You-
Okay, so that's about as good as we get, I guess. So Scott, would you
I remember 2 years ago watching you guys.
like to introduce
Bought
yourself?
a couple of those shows and watched. Oh, yeah. Remember that? That's what we've gone through.
I can't believe we're still alive.
I know, it's just so strange. The one with Audra and that whole group, you know, that you guys did. Yeah, that was fun. Will.
So he's not hearing you? You want to do the utility boxes first?
If possible.
Go for it. think we should just go ahead.
Okay, so, just a quick recap, the Arts Council has some money from the CARE program to do public art, and they have decided that the best resource for public art would be covering utility boxes. Now, to use CARE funding, we can only do them in park areas. So we're hoping to do some in park areas, and then maybe get sponsorship or look for other ways to expand out of park areas. So we have a couple of pieces that we've already secured. One, we purchased a piece for Just Smart Smiley, Sydney Clark donated a piece, and then we did 2 boxes near Sarah Park, one by Cassandra Barney, and one by Nate Prescott. And Nate Prescott was an intern at the City of Orem when all of this started, so that's kind of one way that the fire got started. We asked an intern to develop a website for us, and that intern left and didn't really talk to me about it, so there is one, and I can send you the link, John. John's kind of the tech guy. And see what we need to do to improve upon it. At one point, we thought we would have a template that would show you how your art would look on the box, or a reasonable representation of how it would look on the box. But I have not seen that template on here. So I'm kind of dismayed at where we ended up with the Orem Public Art Box program website. Is just very simple, but you can take a look at that. I sent you the link, and at that point, we will launch it, we will advertise it, and then we will pay a stipend to the artists for the use of their work. Obviously, we don't have any copyright or anything on it, it's just the use for the box. And then we will hopefully go to a vendor and get like 10 boxes in one bid or something like that. So that's where we are. Additionally, another small issue is we have a second box near Cassandra Christensen Barney's box in the Sarah Park that is quite ugly. So we've been looking for a way to cover that box as a companion to the box that is already there. The box that is already there has one of her kind of signature, it's a very, Sphinx-like face and that. And the other box that's next to that is a vented box. So it has lots and lots of vents, lots and lots. So putting another big face on it did not seem like it would be the right thing to do, and just have all these vent cuts in the face. She sent me, well, it's a portfolio. She brought me a portfolio of pieces that she had painted. And she is not, actually I can hook up to 2 things. I'm sorry, I'm not a tech person. She is not technical, so we are working to find someone who can lay all of these bits and pieces into one design. So that's, it's in there, it's got loaded in there twice, I guess, but.
I can do that. I mean, I did one already based on previous art she gave us.
And she just didn't respond to that one as well. So she painted all these things,
Okay.
and she said, use some of these, but I don't do the digital, so we have them photographed, and then
If you
that's
put
where we are.
that in like a box or a Dropbox folder or something.
Not to share the drive, you know, I can put it in a Dropbox.
Well, no, if you have the drive, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, just if you share whatever drive it's on, Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, just share it with me and it's fine. We'll put it together.
So Nate was going to take a run at it, but he has been busy. I am unfortunately not gifted in the visual arts, so if I do it, I'm afraid it's going to look a little challenging, but so that's where we are with boxes. But John has a map of all Utopia boxes.
Yeah. I think there was like 30 plus sites, we'll call them, but very few of them were actually probably usable as for art, regardless of its location. And then when you try to find it in a location that we can use the cameras for, we really get down to just a couple, if even actually. I don't know if schools count.
Schools do not count.
Okay, well then, for Utopia, we might not have a lot of choices there.
I think that we were trying to interpret cultural arts facility very liberally. At one time, the city council had adopted an arts district in the 800 South area, and so we were going to try and interpret that as a cultural facility. And then we also could do a lot of things in Sarah Park, even beyond utility boxes. There were some buildings that had potential to do doors and other things like that. So at this point, one of the challenges is how the art gets applied to the box so it makes the most sense, and what art goes where. But we don't have a lot of art yet, so we need to recruit it.
A status on the health for the gentleman that was doing sound.
He's been doing banners for the city again, so I think he has returned to jobs.
Okay, because he was the most economical.
And
option.
his work has
Yeah.
been very high quality for us.
Yeah.
So I just continue to bother John with this project for sure, but we will launch this for the submittal of art, and maybe we have them in the hopper and then pay for them as they are applied to art, or would you like us to pay for them when we select which ones we want? Just select which ones we want, pay for it, and then have a mini agreement letting them know that at some point in the next however long we will be applying it to a box.
How do you apply it to boxes? Is it a skin?
It's a
Yeah.
vinyl skin, yeah. Yes, yes.
My hand down now. Okay, so, I have some patriotic art that you can use, and it's out of copyright, like, art that everyone knows, like, do a freedom gallery in schools, and so we have, like, the signing of the Constitution, the signing of the Declaration, really old paintings, Spirit of 76, Washington crossing the Delaware, this really cool painting of a flag, and others. So if you're interested in patriotic art, I can help you out.
And certainly there might be a cause for that, but one of the real benefits we thought of recruiting art was you could offer a little stipend to a local artist, and then also we would have the ability to promote different art in, say, a QR code or something like that that would maybe help people if they wanted to know more about the piece, or as we did a little map. But that's a great thought, and I appreciate that.
Is it this body that decides on what art is picked?
Yeah, you can do it however you want. You can do it as a whole, or you can do a small subgroup, whichever feels like a more appropriate model for the project.
John, what's the budget?
We were going to do a $300 stipend for,
Is there a total budget for the?
we have about $30,000.
Okay.
So if we did a $300 stipend, we could possibly do 4 if that is more appropriate. And then we can usually get it applied for about a $600 or $700.
Yeah, I think that one, if memory serves me right, the large one that we already did on the Sarah was about $700.
Yeah, so we're just trying to deploy maybe 30 plus boxes with that money, and we felt like that was a reasonable way to look at it, is a portion for the right to use the art, and then whatever we have left over after we get that all installed, we would recruit again.
Has there been anything in the newsletter that shows one that's finished? Cause I think it'd be a great opportunity, cause I didn't know that happened. I go to this Sarah area occasion in the summer, but it'd be great if we could market it a little bit so people would go see it.
There's been a couple of articles in the Daily Herald.
Daily Herald has it, okay.
Yeah, and we will have more marketing when we launch that we're ready to recruit. And I was waiting for that template on this website, quite honestly, but maybe we don't need the template, because every box is different. And while we want to absolutely represent each piece of art in its best light, I'm not sure that the template, I don't know, what do you think about the template? Necessary, not necessary?
Well, part of the issue, again, depending on the box, one thought was that after having done the 2 boxes that we did, is that we might want to avoid the door side.
Yeah,
And so if we're doing 3 sides, it depends on the dimensions, like the Jesse's, I'm sorry, what was Jesse's name?
Jess Smart Smiley.
Jess Smart Smiley. His art actually would go around 3 sides really well because it's kind of segmented. Whereas if someone else, if they put a face where it's going to be wrapping around the box, we might need to avoid a piece just because it would look strange as it wraps around the box. And so I think we can give people not necessarily a template, but a general description that says, here's some general box sizes where you're going to have a bend here, you're going to have a bend here, kind of plan your art around. So normally where you might want to put, normal composition might say, hey, my whole piece, I'm going to do the rule of thirds or whatever. Well, that might not work great on a utility box because there might be a bend there. So we may have to say, okay, depending on each box, decide. And maybe we don't do 3 sides, maybe we just do, on some, we just do 1 side, and then that it's not as big a concern. So I think it's going to be kind of a box to box thing, which, I guess we have boxes that Orem owns, and then boxes that UDOT owns, and boxes that Rocky Mountain Power. And
yeah, UTA has been the most resistant to the boxes, but Nate Prescott has worked with, I think it was Rocky Mountain Power.
he was
Whatever, Pacific Core, whatever Rocky Mountain Power is called now. I think he was working on, we were hoping to get some memorandums of agreement in place so that we would have the ability to kind of plan and know that we could use them, and so I'll follow up with him and see where he is on that.
There's some great boxes in the city park,
Yeah.
just right out there, but I'm not certain who owns them actually.
Yeah, we've kind of gone through a variety, I mean, this project has taken a long time, and it is not John's fault. He has been the impetus to push it. It has been more about kind of bandwidth on the other side. But we tried doing it with Public Works, who has the ability to do vinyl signage, but they don't have the manpower to do it. And they did one of the boxes and it looks great, but they didn't put the UV layer on it, so I don't know how long that's gonna last. But so we decided by trial and error to go with the bender, and so that will work better.
Well, if we're looking for artists, that's an area I think that you'd be able to help out with very well. That's our largest department at the School of the Arts. We have some 1,500 art majors. So if we're looking for young artists, plus a lot of those faculty are also Orem community members. And then we also have the Woodbury Art Museum that has connections to artists all throughout the community as well. So if we're trying to get the word out for different artists and different mediums, that would be something that I would think, in addition to newsletters that my community members were not aware of. But those people are very connected into that particular world, so we should be able to find all kinds of art.
Yeah, and we have lost some depth in visual art on the Arts Council. We have one spot that is still open.
Was Cindy
Clark.
Is she on the?
Cindy's done.
She's done.
Cass Barney is done. Bart Francis is done. So we lost 3 people who were more visual art representatives.
Lisa Anderson, who is running the Woodbury Art Museum that's going to be located in Lake Mount Manor, is someone who would be an excellent person to tap.
Yeah, One consideration, so Cindy Clark and Cass Barney started a project called the Orem Stories Project. And it has gone on now for 7 or 8 years because they have been the one, moving it forward. And this is a project where they have reached out to schools to have kids draw portraits of individuals who are important to them. And then we hang them in the library, and they've kind of refined it over the years. We bought some frames, and Cindy feels like it's in a good place. She's got some teachers responding to that. She had the name of a teacher who might, she was trying to kind of hand over the reins, not only for an art connection, but maybe someone who would have a little stewardship over that project, because it is a shame to have something really, last that long and then not. And I've tried to reach out to her, and I haven't seen the application yet, and I don't know whether to keep reaching out or to try and seek someone else, but we are holding a spot. We need some representation in visual art, just for all the different things that we kind of have a hand in. But that's kind of a side note, so, sorry, I know.
Can you also send me that, when you said that intern, you mean he's done, he's left, he's no longer?
Yeah, so I talked to Pete about it. Pete found where that is posted on the site. So it is there, I just don't know that it's,
So I should talk to Pete if there's some, about
tweets.
the actual site stuff. Sounds good.
So Pete Wolfley does, communications for the city, and he does a lot with the website, so he's, helpful with that. But, so work in progress. We do hope to do a fair number of them this summer. Move it on out. Any questions on that? Any questions for John?
So ideally, when we are ready to recruit and receive art, people will upload images to the website that it's being worked on.
Yeah, I think it's ready to go. I'm not sure that upload is turned on, but yeah. It's,
But that's the ideal process of upload as an application, fill out basic information, upload your images, and then this group or a subgroup will decide, negotiate, figure out what art wants to go where, and then work directly back with the artist to say, we think your piece on this box at 800 South in this park works great.
I don't know that.
Is it
we're gonna go location specific, or whether we just buy rights?
And that's my question, I guess, is do the artists have approval of which box they go on? Or is it, here's my art, I take my $300, and if you think it's better on that box or on this box or wherever, it's not that your decision anymore?
I think we were probably headed down that path, but if that's not respectful, we can.
I think we just need to be clear with the artist to say, we will tell you where your art is going. We won't ask your opinion on which direction it faces.
Yes, we'll have to draw up some kind of contractual agreement, that indicate things like, we only have rights to use it on one box, you still retain other rights, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, we haven't worked out the actual legal, was dotting our i's and crossing our t's.
I do think there is a draft of that.
Is there?
Yeah.
Brian, who, that's the art?
It would either be this group or a subgroup of this group.
Okay, so we can just see examples of all the stuff that's being considered and
Yeah.
go by majority vote or
And
whatever?
we know art is very subjective. We have gotten interesting comments over the boxes that we've already done. Someone sent in a letter anonymously that they were very concerned that it was witchcraft.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, so.
Good. They're getting the point.
We don't have any way to respond to an anonymous letter, so it's kind of one of those challenges of, we're trying to strike a balance of what, is thought-provoking and interesting and generates good feeling and thoughts, but I don't know how you
The next step is for us to put a sculpture in a circle, because that's what St. George and Salt Lake are getting attention for, is the weight on the dragon.
Yeah.
So,
They did a sample of a potential roundabout in the street just right behind the fitness center, so community park.
Yeah.
What if you did a roundabout there? And the group that came in and did it, it was a transportation group, and they were trying to show how this could be a good thing in the community, and they put a sprinkled donut around it in kind of temporary chalk painting, quite honestly. And there were a lot of people who were upset, including an arts council member, because they're like, why would you do something that, but it was very temporary. It was just, I mean, there were hay bale or straw bales kind of delineating boundaries, and so it was absolutely not art that was designed to stay there. It was just a potential idea of, could you enhance a roundabout to community benefit with something like a sculpture, I guess, is now the thing, but we will not choose sprinkle donut. Because that was
Too much.
not well
That's why
received.
this is Denver.
Not well received. I think I was out
Those calories,
on,
you know,
on,
they're bad.
it was the Touch a Truck Day as well, so we were out for that event, and then people were just like, but it's okay, the rain took care of it. It's
Donut as art, I think.
fresh canvas, but,
I apologize if this is stuff you discussed before my
no, that's all fair game.
but I was just looking at this, the email that Scott sent, and he talks about the Museum of History that's right up on State Street, and this other art that's Orem centered. I just didn't know if there was a way to adapt some of that. I know I really like the idea of giving commissions to students and working artists. I think that's a great way to do this. But I don't know if there was some local art that I don't have a sense that people go to that Orem History Museum a lot. Get some of that stuff out in this same way and expose them to it, and then with a code that say you could see this actual, and others like it at the library. And,
Sure. Yeah, we have recently digitized the Orem Library collection and put it on the Mountain West Digital Library. And I think that we did that based on the success of our yearbook project. So we've scanned yearbooks, and while everyone has kind of a personal connection to your yearbook, we are seeing such good numbers of viewership on those collections that there's some reason to do it. We've recently talked to the city about digitizing some historical photos on behalf of the Orem Heritage Museum, because they have a collection on Mountain West Digital Library, and it would be more historic photos, but you could certainly draw attention to their art in a lot of different ways, whether it's social media or putting it out there on boxes or doing other things, and I think there's a good call for that.
Yeah. I mean, when that, I guess it was a big carnival, it was on the park out here last summer. I mean, if there were some things that were, some of those boxes were done for that, with that many people walking around being exposed to it, that would be a great, I don't know if that's going to happen again.
Yeah, it's right in the window. It's happening June 10th, 9th, 10th, and 11th is really the biggest time in the park. So we can try.
No.
We can try, but it's definitely something that's worth pursuing. Any other questions about boxes? We're running short on time. We don't want to keep you guys too long, so I'll just do a little bit of an abbreviated version. So the Arts Council has always had a presence at the Summerfest out on the stage. Now the stage has changed quite dramatically in response to kind of what do the people want at Summerfest. And so instead of really solidly booking it for 2 days out there, we are filling small slots in between Scales and Tales. Orem's Got Talent takes a huge amount of time, other things. So we don't have as much opportunity as we did to program it as we did in the past. So we're trying to do our best. And we do that, we don't necessarily broadly advertise for it because we don't have very many slots. And so then I have 30 applications for very, very, very few slots. So BYU Strings is doing an alumni performance on Saturday. We have some other things programmed in, but there's a lot of call for like family children's event type programming, which is not necessarily the same thing that the Arts Council does. So that continues to evolve. I'll be out there, of course. I can send out a schedule if anyone wants to help host, an act or two. I will get that kind of refined, but there's just not as much opportunity to really like program it the way we did. We didn't get as much attendance as we ever would have liked with trying to bring in more, I don't know, choirs and other things. We had people who wanted to, but the audience just wasn't there. So it's kind of been a push-pull in trying to figure out how to make that experience the best that we can. They've done Arts in the Park, featuring wares and pieces for sale, and we found that to be a terrible model with the Summerfest, because we found that people came to the Summerfest for the boutique that's out there, not to shop the nicer pieces.
Nice.
And then you had a conflict of, please don't touch my $5,000 bowl, you know, and so we're still kind of in the quagmire of how do we bring some of those opportunities forward. But the Summerfest was not the right venue for a true Arts in the Park kind of an event. And I don't know why it wasn't, because it works well in other cities, but it did not work well in ours. So we need to, I guess, look at opportunities on that. The summer concert series, we, as an arts council, host the summer concert series at the stage at City Center Park. They're on Monday nights at 7 o'clock, and they run from July to mid-August. We aren't having one on the first Monday of July because that's July 4th, and we will get cremated by the competition. But we have recently solicited applications from the community on that. And I know that Adam from Sarah had been interested in that, and Dave Blackington, who's a member of the Arts Council, he's excused today for a family funeral. I should have mentioned that. Adam Robertson is another member of the Arts Council, Dave Blackington, Barry Merrill, and Debbie LeRae is the city council liaison to the group. So,
For both the Summerfest and the Summer Concert Series, are the performers for both of those events specifically Orem residents?
No. But it has been a nice thing for Orem because it's free, and I have pulled up pictures of the audience the first year. It's kind of dwindled, the audience has dwindled a little bit through the years. They were really enjoying it. So that's our goal in choosing the, you know, it was pretty packed the first year that we did it. I don't know how to do it. When I turn this on, isn't it supposed to just... Anyway, but we try to do a real variety of kinds of arts and dance and styles of music.
yeah, that's coming up this next week. If anyone wants to join that subgroup, let me know. We will need to choose them next week, and we just usually do it in like a lunch 2-hour meeting where we listen to snippets and other things like that. And then we start advertising with the Summerfest, and then we have flyers and everything out of the Summerfest for the concert series.
We had food trucks for a while, and that was fun for some people, but not real lucrative.
The food trucks didn't find it was profitable, so they pulled stakes. We do the summer concert series through a grant from the state of Utah, so the funding is pretty limited. We have $400 to pay for an act. You could cobble together, you know, and pay someone extra. It would just limit opportunity in other areas. We usually get about $3,500 from the state, which is very little money at all. I have tried to do a lot of things to pump up that application. A lot of it is about underserved areas, underserved populations, different things like that, but so far we're stuck in kind of the 3 to 5 range is about where we've ever been. So there was a year that the Arts Council tried to make everything interactive, and we thought that might bump up the state's interest, but that didn't work either. So some of it is about the fact that we have wonderful arts in Orem, and I think they have a focus to help others develop such wonderful arts in other places, but we appreciate what we get.
Has anybody ever talked about maybe having one of them themed like a cultural showcase only? So it would be people from different cultures and that. I went to school in Hawaii, and that was the biggest night every time, because it's something that wasn't offered. Well, it happened to be offered next door, but it normally is not offered, right? And so someone couldn't go and find, Mexican dancers or Tongan dancers or whatever in other parts of Utah Valley. So, I don't know how well that would, if we put out applications for requests for that, possibly.
Yeah, last year we did have an amazing group, Grupo Folklorico. They were, instead of a musical performance, it was dance performance, and that was great. We enjoyed that a lot. The air quality messed us up a little bit last year. We had to reschedule one to indoors for air quality, and then another one, the artist was very concerned about rain because it was just kind of threatening rain. So last year we did have two that we had to work around for the schedule, but that Folklorico group was amazing. I think it was well received and well attended. So we have tried to do some of that. I know Councilmember Lamson is very interested in having a kind of cultural extravaganza, for lack of a better word, showcase or something like that. And I know that we've met with Adam, because it was like, should this be at the outdoor stage or should it be at the show? And it just kind of depends on how that goes. But I definitely think it's doable. If it's something that is still being pursued for the show, great. If it's something we should pursue, maybe you devote a series to it. So
that might be one way to approach Summerfest as a cultural event.
We do kind of approach Summerfest that way, because there's so many dance groups that want to have any stage to perform on, but yeah, for sure, it's a good thing to look at. So that's on the summer concert series. We will have more information about that. Utility boxes. Other, I was just gonna hit the visual arts week, but we touched on that a bit. The only other in my mind is Friday at lunchtime good time. We have a few people who are traveling today, so it's kind of the push-pull of summer travels, and we know that not everyone can be at every meeting. We try to have people, attend 75% of the meetings, say, but just to double check, since we have so many new people, is a Friday lunch meeting good? Looks like it. Okay, Scott, I know you had some other that you were thinking of. Did you want to talk about that today? No, but you better. Scott shares that in a future meeting. You can attend in person. Scott, can you hear me?
He's muted.
He had a specific number of things, let's see, that,
Okay.
There he is.
I'm here.
okay,
Okay, actually, Friday afternoons and lunch are good for me. So, I have several items, but I don't know, do you want me to bring them up now, because they'll kind of take a while. Yeah, probably about through here, aren't we?
yeah, maybe it'd be better if you are okay to share those at the next in-person meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. We will have more information for you guys, rosters and stuff, but is there anything that we should cover today in the other section? You can reach out to either me or Sharon, and I will send out the roster later today by email. Thank you so much for coming. I know it is,
I know, I'm sorry, I was
No, you're good.
kind of putting this off, but, I know it's the horse is out of the barn on this, but, it seems to me it's I apologize for embarrassing Cody if I do, but it's a huge loss for the Orem community to have the Hale leaving town. Huge. And I don't know how much this council was involved in any discussions about trying to keep them in town. I know doTERRA made him a huge offer, a wonderful offer, as Cody said, an offer you can't refuse. But I mean, you have to tell, you couldn't tell me that Orem, that the Hale doesn't contribute more than $5 million to the Orem community finances by their mere presence here and on the shows and people using restaurants and whatever, because they are here, And I just wanted to say that I don't know if we have any other organizations that are tilting towards leaving or going anyplace else, but I think we should be pretty proactive about keeping organizations that we love and need here in our town, in our city, And I don't know where the responsibility for that lies, or who's making those decisions in terms of keeping, or how influential this group could actually be, having just walked into the room. But I think that we ought to be
I don't
doing.
think the Sarah's doing it.
Deb could talk to us about that a little bit, couldn't she?
yeah,
Maybe we can ask her to at our next meeting.
One thing that I don't know, probably shouldn't bring this up, but I don't know if you've heard, but the city council has decided to give us absolutely nothing in care tax from here on out. And so we're kind of going, what? Anyway, and we're here, and we are contributing to the city, very much so, and hope that they change their minds before it's actually finalized, because it's not like they're throwing the money away. I wish the whole council could come out, although it's completely sold out, there's no way to get in, to just see our junior production that opens today of Frozen. Unbelievable. I just was shocked. I saw it yesterday and went, I cannot believe the talent we have in this, and the blessing it is in the lives of these kids. And everyone that sees it goes, I mean, my ears are still ringing from the screaming audience over the, some of the effects and the fun things. And those things come about as a result of the care tax, because we can afford to do some of these wonderful things, and for us to have to spend, hobble along for the next 2-3 years, and then if for some reason the whole doTERRA thing crumbles, it's just not a wise move for them, I don't think, but we'll do whatever we can, at this point. But I just and we're extremely grateful for every penny they've given us, because it's allowed us to really have nice productions. So anyway, if anybody has the ear of the council, say it, guys.
Could we ask Deb to just kind of address their take on that kind of thing for us as a council next meeting?
Yeah, the care funding will be decided before that, for sure. Debbie was definitely interested in having something go to Hale. I don't think it was close to the previous allocation. Yeah, I would say reach out.
Okay.
Is there a timeline on when the final decision is going to be made?
It's soon. I'll look it up, see if they scheduled that.
Yeah, and I guess Janelle Pugmire doing an article in the Daily Daily Herald. I don't know who she's interviewed and everything and all, but talking about the decisions and what's being made. I'll be curious to see what she says tomorrow.
Yeah, that's posted today.
So anyway, and we've, but it's, anyway, I just hope they understand how much we're we'll continue to give to Orem as long as we're here. And, we just don't know what's going on in this economy. We don't know what's going on with the supply chain, how long it's gonna take to get the materials to build buildings, all that kind of stuff. So it's, it's not a done deal, really. It won't be done until it actually really happens.
So the final vote, according to the article, is scheduled for May 24th.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's easier to reach out ahead of an actual meeting.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of odd. So.
It's disheartening to hear.
Yeah.
And at least that first report, I don't know anything about it, has a little smack of retribution, for you guys leaving.
I guess I don't know, well, they're not, they're leaving us, why do we need to give them anything? I don't know, I don't know where they're coming from, but somebody feels that it's not worth it to, and maybe they wanna, pump up the other things to try to fill in, I don't know, I'm not sure what their thing is, but we would love it if they'd continue to give us at least something.
The irony of it is that because these towns are so close together, the people are still the people who are sending their children to the Orem now, to the Hale, they're going to send them to the Hale over in Linden. I mean, I'm a father that has done that, right? I mean, so it's not like it's gonna hurt, I mean, it's gonna hurt this town, right? People are gonna go have dinner over there now because they're gonna eat over there before they go to their Hale show instead of eating right here. And I'm an HR guy. I hate it when we lose somebody, but if we don't learn when we lose somebody, then shame on me the next time around when I lose the second one, right? Because I didn't look into it. So, nuts.
And the city was not doing nothing. I mean, there was some discussion about having it at the mall, at University Place.
Yeah.
The city was prepared to, have a financing mechanism and other things. Now, is it as aggressive as others may want? Obviously not, but it was a concern, and the city has been working closely with Jeff.
Right, no, we've been working with Orem for all the way up till this one fell in our laps, and in fact, I can still see Mayor Washburn at our groundbreaking for the Midtown Theater that we were going to have in the Midtown 360, and and then the economy just tanked and all the funding went away.
The city does have a care tax program, which is cultural arts and recreation enrichment. It is important to note that the city can spend that money on facilities such as parks, fitness center, library hall, and private organizations can spend it on programming. So that is where that care funding that has been allocated in the past has been utilized, which is great. But and there's a lot of things that could have happened. Now we know what is going to happen with them. I love the Hale. I absolutely love it. The only concern I've ever had about the Hale is relocating is, are they going to have the magic in the bottle? Because they've done so much to be extra creative with the space. And I've just been wowed with everything I've seen there, and so it's like, will it be the same Hale? And I'm sure it will be, because the same creative minds will be in it.
Just for your information, the mock-up plan for the new theater, everything in we're doing everything in our power to keep that feel of intimacy. We don't want it to feel cavernous or anything like that. We want it to feel like ours does. But at the size that it's at, I don't know how they can do it. Although it's still going to be, a lot of the elements that will keep it that way. It's the company that I think we're working at. I think they're the ones that built the Nord. Method, yeah. Method. And they've got. It was interesting when they were trying to get our business. They brought virtual reality goggles to put on and place us in any seat we want inside the new theater to see how it looked.
Wow.
They're fancy.
That's amazing.
They did library hall.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, they did this one too.
Wow.
And, but,
They're heavily involved, and we love them.
yeah, they were incredible, and, anyway, and that we ended up picking them. But, what was so fun was to sit in this and go, this is 680 seats. I can't believe it, it really felt small for that. I thought, there's no way this is 680 seats, but they really worked around all of our ideas and tried to keep it intimate. So
That's what I said about our space when it was being built. I said, there's no way you're gonna get X number of seats in here.
yeah,
There's no way, it just doesn't,
but
just
they
doesn't
did.
feel like it until you get the seats in there.
Awesome. So, but you know, so we're excited. We hope it all comes together. But at the same time, we want to give it our all here in Orem while we're here, and make it as you know. And like at the same time, I don't like to say. I just don't know what the future has. We were sure that the other ones were going to be built. So, and right now with this crazy world right now, it's we just don't know. But we're excited. We're going full steam ahead, and we're really excited about the shows we're doing here in Orem right now. Like I said, I guess it was just the title frozen, and boom, it's gone. And Disney will not give us more than 1,600 tickets to sell. Period. Show's done. Can't do it anymore. You know, the whole world's trying to get in. I'm sorry. But I mean, I don't know if you've heard about the fancy when Elsa does her Let It Go song and they change her clothes instantly. Yeah, I mean, it's just stunning. She gets up there in all her green and whatever color she's singing the song, and then right at the big peak, she hits this thing, and then, I mean, she's in white. And it's like, whoa, how did that? It was pretty cool. Very, very inventive, fun, the way it's done, and, you know, and it fools everybody. They can't figure out how we did it.
I couldn't figure it out at Eccles Theater, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that. We do that. It's a lot of fun. And at that point, when it turned white, I went, okay, look my ears, because here comes the audience. That's really fun. So I was so impressed. You know, I couldn't believe these kids, and they're singing. I mean, the girl playing Anna. I mean, she just like, where does she come from? This is one of the most beautiful, mature voices I've ever heard. And Elsa wasn't too bad either on Let It Go. Yeah, I just love the talent. The talent that's in this valley is just phenomenal. We are very, very lucky to have such talented people here. And so many of them go off to Broadway, like this song.
We're spoiled in this valley.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so wonderful. It's
Yeah.
so wonderful.
Yeah, and my son, and he went off to Vegas, where he was in Phantom of the Opera for 7 years, and you know, incredible talent. So it's just crawling in this valley.
And is he in Nashville now? Is that what they said?
Which one?
Your son, is he in Nashville now?
No, right now he is actually working for another Hale Center Theater in Arizona, and he's putting on tribute concerts that are just amazing. They're really fun.
Is that one that was in $1 Million Quartet?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Great show.
Yeah, and he did that after he did Phantom, went on to Million Dollar.
UVU maybe could bring that, because everyone's asking, I mean, the Hale up there down here, when are we seeing it again?
Oh,
And it's not scheduled, right?
$1
So,
Million? You
yeah.
can't get it.
yeah.
You can't get it.
So I was hoping maybe these guys could get it now.
We're having enough trouble getting
There's a
anything.
national tour that's just killing
Oh,
it.
really? It's killing it.
Everybody wants it. So,
But
Wow.
there's sit downs right now in Vegas and Chicago for $1 Million Quartet.
yeah.
Really?
But our version in our little tiny theater was so much fun.
Yeah, it was great.
And so, anyway, yeah. Thank you everybody for being patrons and for being in shows for us. And for, I take you over that incredible complex you guys have over there. That is,
It's pretty shiny.
it's so awesome. Oh, it's just wonderful. Things that you'll be able to do and what it does for the students that perform there. Oh, it's awesome. So.
We had several UVU students in our show. And
We send
Yeah.
a lot.
All of them, especially.
Technicians, actors.
We'll teach you what to do and then go do it.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
no,
great.
this
That is
town
great.
is loaded with talent and loaded with some great facilities too. So, we're, I mean, great, world class, that stuff over there, wow.
Yeah, I don't think the Norda's gonna be picked up and moved anytime soon.
No.
We're pretty set. ECU is pretty tenured in this spot.
Yeah.
Well, Nancy, if you'd like to call for a vote for adjournment, and then if anybody wants to see Library Hall, I'm happy to walk you.
We will take votes for adjournment, is that how I asked?
Yeah, motion and second and a vote.
I motion.
And second?
I'll second.
All right. And we are adjourned. Thanks, Shar, for lunch and everything.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Very